Hey, Peter, please. Good to see you again, Peter. You have 15 minutes, mate.
10 for Beckenham and 5 for me.
That's
Right?
correct, yes.
Yeah. Just please excuse my slightly odd speech. I'm a bit short of teeth at the moment.
That's right.
Firstly, on behalf of BNA, thank you very much for this opportunity to address you. Notwithstanding a few reservations, we think that overall the Council has done an excellent job at what is a time of considerable difficulty. We recognise that we're very fortunate to be living in an attractive suburb that has been well served by the Council, and we're well aware that there are suburbs less well off in various respects than ours. So in our plan submissions, we try not to be parochial, and we try to balance local concerns with a citywide perspective. Firstly, we appreciate that our own local residents have as much cause as residents citywide to be pleased at the Council's achievement of a lower rate rise than has originally been projected. We generally support the balance that the Council has struck, both on the operating and the capital side, although we're still a bit grumpy about the size of that other operating cost item that we feel could have been given more transparency. We have no doubt that residents citywide will also share our hope that the Council will find a way of making next year's rate increase appreciably less than the current plan anticipates. That may be wishful thinking, but one can always hope. Replacing the first Christchurch South Library is a matter of particular interest to us, as we're sure it will be not only to our community, but to residents throughout South Christchurch and maybe even further afield. Our association was closely involved in the genesis of the library, which can fairly be counted as the most exciting development in Beckenham's entire history. We didn't have a library in our part of the city, the nearest one being in Spraydon, so the prospect of having one right in our neighbourhood way back then was indescribably thrilling, and community participation in the process that led to its creation was both widespread and incredibly enthusiastic. So that local history is a key feature of the background against which we view this project, and it adds to the degree to which our treasured library will be sorely missed and its replacement and timely opening eagerly awaited. Please don't let us down. The reservations we have concern the delays yet again in respect of the Opawaho River cycling route and implementation of the Mid-Heathcote Master Plan, the latter having been deferred for 15 years now, while the cycleway delay can be nothing less than a big disappointment to many of the notable number of cyclists in our suburb, though I should emphasise our overall support for the citywide cycleways programme. We look forward, hopefully, to some movement in future on both these projects. We nevertheless appreciate the work that has gone into reducing the 2025 to 26 rate increase. We think the level of intergenerational debt is reasonable, and that the philosophy of focusing on what can realistically be delivered during the life of the plan is one to which we hope the Council will continue to adhere into the future. The draft annual plan, therefore, has our broad support. That's
the first one?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Would you like to please carry on with the second one?
Thank you.
Yep, beautiful.
On my own behalf,
yes.
I think it would be very churlish of me not to reiterate my congratulations to the council on achieving that reduced rate increase. I want to focus mainly on two things in particular: Christchurch South Library and the projected rate increase for the next year. Though I will touch on a couple of other matters. Possibly, regarding the library, I'd like to add a further plea, and one that will cost nothing, to my very heartfelt plea for the prompt and successful completion of the replacement building. Possibly no one around today's council table remembers that had it not been for then Councillor Carol Anderson, wife of our then MP, there probably would never have been a Christchurch South Library in the first place. The council's original plan was to extend the Spraden Library, but that plan required the removal of a row of notable trees, and such was the power and influence of Councillor Anderson's opposition to that aspect of the plan that it was abandoned. When it came to speaking for the trees, the Lorax had nothing on her. And that was how the idea of a new library was born and the search for a new site began. Such was her role in the original library's genesis that I feel it would be an appropriate, albeit belated, tribute for its replacement to be named for her. Before addressing my other main topic, I feel bound to refer to that other OPEX item. In my view, it positively invites the axe. I mean, come on, guys. With a slice of the pie that large, you owe us a bit more openness about what's inside it. Also, regarding my support for the reinstatement of the cathedral, I'd remind the council that after the devastating fire that struck the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris in 2019, restoration began in 2021 and took a mere 3 years to complete. In comparison with that, the state of our cathedral after 14 years looks like me to be a shameful disgrace. Turning to next year's projected rate rise, I feel it necessary to sound a cautionary note. The size of the projected rise for next year rather worries me, and I very much hope the council will find a way of reducing it. The current government, I think, is very similar in complexion to the one that in 2010 sacked the members of ECAN and replaced them with commissioners. And with Mr. Seymour as Deputy PM, I have no doubt that if a plausible pretext presented itself, they wouldn't hesitate to do the same to this council. Ratepayer backlash over a rate increase as high as is predicted here could perhaps be used as just such a pretext, and the political cosmetics of a rise of 10% or more will not be good. It'll be a really bad look, in other words. I have no doubt that if Mr. Seymour were to agitate for the government to do a 2010 on Christchurch City Council, the PM wouldn't have either the brains or the backbone to resist. So I think it will be vitally important between now and next year for energetic thought to be given to finding judicious ways, without compromising service delivery, of reducing the projected rate increase to something below the 10% level. And I suggest that a much smaller other might be a good way to start. Subject to that, once again, congratulations to the council on a job well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And very good to see you year on year.
Thank you.
You haven't changed a bit. Pauline, please.
Thank you, Peter. You just sound a little bit different, but we won't.
Look,
mention that.
sorry, my hearing isn't quite as good as it used to be.
I see. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
It's all very well to wave the threat of the government, sacking us all and putting commissioners in, but part of the costs that we have to bear are the ones that they impose on us.
I know.
So 2.1 million that we have to fork out for their new water levies, and also they're going to cost us 43.2 million because they're not going to continue to subsidise some of our transport work, which I think is a bit off, because we deserve a decent cut of that transport fund as well. So, you know, I think it would be pretty rich if they came and pointed the finger.
It would be, but I don't think they'd have any shame about doing it.
Well, you could be right there.
And lastly, Tim.
Thank you, Peter, and it's wonderful to see you, but do remember that within 10 days of Notre Dame being burnt or having the fire, I think there was £750 million pledged to it.
I
We
know.
didn't have that here. And ECAN, I think there were two personalities there driving that, and whilst I totally disagreed with how it was done, I can see the frustration, because I think all of Christchurch, probably as it is now, was frustrated with ECAN. Yeah, so something had to happen.
I know that comparison was a bit naughty, what mate.
Thank you so much, Peter. Very good to see you, and have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Good on you. And last but not least is Murray.